Today's project is this pair of dangle earrings. We have the iridescent jade colored glass up at the top. There's a lot of movement, a lot of happiness going on there. We have the dyed green agate stone and a cool little head pin. That's where we're going to start. It's the bottom with that head pin. So these are really fun place to start. You already have a little inspiration going on there and you can just zazz it up from there. So we're going to take our little dyed agate stone. Each one is different, so you have those variations in the agate that I think just make it so interesting. I love agate. So I'm going to put one of these glass beads on top there. And then we're going to make the loop at the top. Everything that you need to make these earrings is going to come in your kit except for the pliers. So I'm using a rounded plier. I'll use these teeny tiny needle nose and some snips. I'll let you know if anything else goes into this, but those are my three go-tos. So we're going to go with our rounded pliers just above that bead, just the width of the plier itself. Bend the head pin at a 90-degree angle. And we're going to come up at the top of the bend itself and go back the other way as far as you can. You can see you've got that little kind of question mark shape going. You're going to need that little teeny bit of space there for the wrap. So you're going to hold it with your pliers, take the tail end of your head pin, bring it down around on itself, and fill in that gap between the loop and the little iridescent glass bead. You wrap around twice. That looks pretty good right about there. We'll take our little snips and get rid of that tail. Make sure all these get in the trash. You don't want to step on one of those in the middle of the night. And then we're going to go with our little, needle nose pliers. A lot of jewelers are going to recommend something like this that's smoother. It doesn't mar your wire, your head pins, whatever else you're working with. It'll give you a nice smooth little squish. I just kind of have an attachment to this particular pair of pliers. They just do exactly what I want every time. I don't know if you have any tools like that you just gravitate toward, or if I'm just crazy. But we're going to tuck that little bit of tail in. Go kind of nibble at it, go around, go with your wrap, the direction that you wrapped it. And tuck that in until you can't feel it when you run your thumb over it anymore. And then it's not going to poke you in the side of the head when we put the earring together. So I'm going to take the flat part back here of my pliers, grab a hold of the loop, and just kind of tweak everything. Make sure it's just where I want it, that the loop at the top is nice and straight, everybody's flat, and sitting in the head pin correctly. Everybody looks good. So there's our first bit. Alright, now we're going to get 4 of these little glass jade colored glass, little beads. And these cute little head pins with the ball on the end. Again, I like that there's already a little bit of design factor going on there with the little ball on the end. With this head pin, you've got a little Indian influence and that pretty little bit there. So I found when I was putting the others together that this particular bead and this particular head pin is perfect, because all you're going to have to do for a nice little rounded loop at the top, give it a nice 90-degree bend. It's got doop doop, little L shape, and then take that just right up against the bead as close as you can do it. You can try and do that with pliers if you want it a little cleaner. Might be a good idea. I always just use my thumbnail. That's probably why my thumbnails are always torn up. We're going to grab it with our, at the very end, with our rounded pliers, and just curl it back on itself. Again, I'll go in with my favorite pliers, grab a hold of that loop, make sure everybody's nice and square. You can try and close it up a little bit more, squish it flat. We're going to do that 4 times. There, I got a good little method there. I didn't have to, fight with it so much as that first one. Trying to get the right angle for the camera. Alright, we'll bend it back on itself. And we'll keep closing it up. Now the step that I'm doing with my favorite little green pliers, where I kind of grab a hold of the loop and make sure everybody's square and it's not all wonky hanging to one side or anything. It's just gonna give your jewelry that extra polished, finished look. It doesn't lean funny or hang to one side. Okay, now that we have our 4 little dangly bits and our center all done, we are going to assemble these guys into an actual earring. So we're going to take this pretty little rounded ear hook and a simple little jump ring. Make it all, boom, it's going to be an earring. So, with my tiny little pliers and a second pair of pliers, I'm going to go with these guys, and grab a hold of my jump ring. So the opening is there at the very tippy top. This is just stabilizing. Goes just to the side of that opening. And this one, this other pair of pliers, is going to open it up for me. So we're going to open it in a sweeping motion. Never, I can't stress this enough, don't open your jump rings this way and pull the 2 edges apart. You'll never get them back together nicely. So if you open in a sweeping motion and come back together in a sweeping motion, you're gonna have a nice closure and nothing's gonna fall apart. If you open them this way and then try and get that back together, it's just not gonna happen. So I'm gonna take 1, 2 of my little dangles and then my centerpiece. Woo! The other 2, these little guys. And my ear hook. And we're getting pretty full on that jump ring, so you're gonna have to watch Nobody's sliding off. And get a hold of it with your pliers and close that back, and remember that sweeping motion. Make sure that the two ends of that jump ring are butted up together so nobody falls out. There we go. Those are our glass danglies and dyed agate, pretty little dangle earrings.